Mid-major standouts post incredible performances. A pair of unbeaten squads hold court. And what exactly is going on in Baton Rouge? With a huge slate of midweek games to come and conference play firing up across the nation, we have plenty to discuss, and we're going to do it on this episode of College Baseball Now.
Yeah, ain't no problems, that won't problem with me, Yeah. Let me talk to the chat. They know I was gone for a minute, had to BRB. Had to grab a couple wins, what I did. They sleeping on the kid, I had to do it BIG. I can never be average, and they want a problem with the boy, they don't want no static. I don't need your cosign running with God. Wanna test that, tell them what's happening. Took control, run the game, best believe I'm shining dog. Counting in my wins, yeah, I love it when they count me out. Off the leash, of the chain, boy, I've been a dog. Best believe I run the game, you know I'm in control of y'all. It's like magic, believe I want that static. Yeah, it's like magic, believe I want that static. Yeah, it's like magic, believe I want that static. Beat them up, knock them out. They really don't want no static.
Live and in living color on your favorite podcast, listening, or viewing application, it is College Baseball Now. Your friends have joined you again to talk about weekend 4 in the 2026 NCAA baseball season. And boy, howdy, what a weekend it was. Lots to discuss. And with you, as always, your host and crew, starting the coast with, of course, with your friend, your host, your boy, Drew Wheeler, Director of Amateur Scouting at Prospects Live. Pleased to be here with my friends and yours, starting with the gentleman to my right on your screen. It is Mr. JB Sebastiano. JB, what's good?
How you doing, Drew?
I'm great, buddy. I'm doing really good. I have a question for you, JB. I'm sure you knew this was coming.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What, JB, is the best flavor of Gatorade?
That's a great question. Out of the typical-ish flavors, I'd say I'm like a glacier cherry type of person. I think is one of my favorites. If we're going like random, and if you like know me, I like this, like the mango Gatorade flavor. That's like my favorite one if you can find it, like super random.
Okay.
But those are the two I'd go with right there.
I like it. Okay. Definitely deep lore there, the glacier. Because I would say, at least around here, glacier is one of the rarer ones. I can't find it much.
Sure. I mean, maybe I'm pulling out the bag like when I was a kid, in California, like the Glacier series, like I don't know, you'd see it everywhere. So I was always a big Glacier guy. If we're going more basic than that, I guess I'd say I was an orange Gatorade person. So
Orange is solid. I mean, all of the ones you list are solid. The mango pull is insane tech. I love that though. So good call. Glad to know we're on the same page. We're simpatico on the Gatorade. In the bottom left today, we have Coach Jake Bargery. Coach, it's good to see you, sir. I know you got out to the ballpark today. Hopefully we'll get a quick line about that from you later in the show. But curious, Jake, what is the best flavor of Gatorade, sir?
So I like the Glacier Freeze one, the light blue one is usually my go-to Gatorade. I'm not a big red Gatorade fan. I feel like a lot of people like the red one. That's just never been a thing for me. I've never been a big fan of it.
Why not red, Jake? Not that I'm a red proponent. I drink the red Gatorade, but I get it. So why not red to you?
I don't know. It's just I don't know, the fruit punch flavor. Like I don't know. I like fruit punch like Kool-Aid better than I like the fruit punch Gatorade. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
I get it. Hey, I feel that. You enjoyed your time at the park today, yes?
I did. Finally got out. It was like 70 degrees out today, which was wonderful. Got a really fun game. I can mention it later at the end if you want to talk about it some more.
70 degrees in PA. You are living a blessed life, Jake.
Sure am. It's been a long time coming, and Quinn, I'm sure, can attest to that too.
Quinn? What do you mean, Quinn? That's Josh Catlett. No, it's not. Look who's joining us on episode 17. It is our new friend joining us for the pod for the first time. It's Quinn Martin. Quinn, hi.
What's going on, Drew? Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's my pleasure, buddy. Whenever we brought you onto the team, I asked if you were ever interested in podcasting. You said, yeah, that's something I'd be into doing. And it is overdue, but we're thrilled to have you with us on College Baseball Now. And I'm going to ask, man, Gatorade. What's the best flavor, Quinn?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jake. I'm also going to throw in Cool Blue. Pretty similar, but like both. And I've never had it before, but I would like to try grape.
Grape is solid. Grape is solid. None of you said my favorite Gatorade, green apple Gatorade. It is outstanding. Truly outstanding. And by the nods, have any of you had it?
Can't say I have. I'm not a big green apple guy.
Quinn,
I've tried
save
once.
this graphic.
I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest with you.
Oh, no. Okay, well, I love lemon lime as well. It's hyper basic, but man, you come in hot day, like working in the yard or something, man, lemon lime Gatorade hits like nothing else. So.
Drew, I take it you're just a big sour guy. You like a lot of sour things?
Not like sour candy. I like sour flavor on Gatorade for sure. It refreshes. It refreshes. Yeah. I appreciate you noticing, Jake. Now, whenever I see Jake, he's gonna have like hyper sour candy for you, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh, awesome! Thanks, great, Jake, thanks." Anyway, lots to discuss. Obviously, like we said, in the college baseball universe, there's plenty of stuff going on, and we're going to jump into it with some of the biggest storylines of the weekend to talk about. And Jake, we are going to stick with you, buddy. We led into it in the last episode, and I don't even know that we would have predicted that this would happen. But Jake, what's happening in Baton Rouge? LSU looks to have completely lost the plot. Let's talk about the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't. I mean, I don't know what to say about what's happening at LSU right now. I mean, like not only they were shocked in back-to-back midweeks, but they struggled last weekend against. Or I say struggled. They won the games, but like they struggled for their standards against Dartmouth and Northeastern, and then now they lost a series at home to Sac State. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what to think about them. Like game one, no complaints. They handled their business in game one, but like game two, they only had 3 hits on the game and just one coming into the 8th inning. Game 3 today, like they only got 1 run across and they lost again. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously we know the talent they have, and that's the reason they were ranked, number 1 when we started putting our rankings out. And like, I don't expect it to be like a lingering issue the rest of the season. Like, there's too many good players on the team for this to continue happening the rest of the year. But like, Drew, on your worry meter, like you like to talk about a lot. I probably break the scale right now with LSU the way this offense is playing right now. Like it's concerning. Like they're not scoring runs against teams they should be beating, and like I don't know. And then to open SEC play next weekend, they got to go to Vanderbilt, which hasn't had the best start to the year, but they're really good at playing at home. I don't know. It's just not getting any easier for them right now.
Lots to talk about here. First of all, we are 8 minutes into the episode. You've already broken the worry meter. We're going to need that later on, so I'm going to need you to repair that. Second, excellent notes, though, Jake, because I think Vanderbilt we have plenty of questions about as well. Obviously, we've documented it very heavily, how this feels like almost the anti-Corbin team in a sense. They're all power. They're a very all gas, no brakes kind of team. And they're going to be hosting LSU with Hawkins in Nashville, and that's going to be an incredibly intriguing matchup for both teams. Jake, you talked about it a minute ago, but today especially, to watch LSU's, well-manicured, inherited, and brought in from the transfer portal, this roster of juggernauts flailing against the admittedly efficient and talented Sacramento State pitching squad over the last 2 days, they looked lost. And I think that it kind of goes back to the point where we said a moment ago, in the last episode, it's a lot of these guys are trying to play hero ball. And I feel like I'm going to break this for all of us with this one at bat. And Jake, you said it yourself. There's no such thing as a 6-run homer.
Yeah. I mean, like you mentioned, like there's just not much of an approach right now. It feels like they're playing with like the desperation. Like I think I talked about it last time. Like there's good desperation and there's bad desperation, and like this is the bad version of it right now that LSU's kind of hitting with. Like you mentioned, I mean, props to Sac State. Carson Timothy, 6 2/3, 4 strikeouts, no
Dealt.
runs. Trevor Wilson, I mean, he's given a 2 1/3 inning save, but I mean, he went 2 1/3, no runs allowed on him. Like, really good job out of that pitching staff to hold down this. I mean, we talk about how talented this LSU lineup is, top to bottom, but like you said it, I mean, it's like they're all trying to be the heroes right now, and it's not really working for anybody.
Sure, definitely. Quinn, I'm going to come to you here in just a second to talk about LSU's offense and maybe which guys we need to be most concerned with. But I did want to give the California boy, I want to give you an opportunity, JB, if you want to prop up Sac State. Prop them a little. I don't know how much we can prop up this Sac State team. And Jake did a great job of it, man, because the pitching has been, I think, efficient is my favorite word. They went out and handled business on Saturday and Sunday. And realistically speaking, only in the 8th and 9th inning today was LSU a threat. Yesterday, I feel like it was, sporadic flares with nothing really meaningful on the offensive front. What, I guess, if you want to praise Sac State, if you want to praise your West Coast baseball, do it. But then what's the outlook for Sac State the rest of the way, JB?
Yeah, I guess I'll start off with that Sac State. It's kind of interesting. We're always used to the Friday performance and the Friday arms being the people that you're used to seeing shine. And it was kind of the opposite for Sac State. Friday was the day that they struggled the most by committee. And then Saturday, they went back to kind of a committee approach again with Quinn Martin kind of starting the way there. 4 1/3, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and then kind of piecing it together through the rest of the way. And they had a lot of success with that, winning a game. And then Sunday, obviously, they just went 2 guys that Jake talked about and kind of did a great job getting through it. I think for Sac State, it's a big confidence boosting win. I don't know if it necessarily makes me believe that they're going to outperform themselves and, dominate everybody else. A lot of those West Coast mid-major schools is kind of a dogfight to the end out there, as we've seen with the Big West and all those other conferences out there. So I think Sac State's a good team. I guess the point that I was more so going to make about this series is the concern of the LSU pitching staff. I know we're all going to talk about the offense, but I'll hit on a couple LSU pitchers here for a second. William Schmidt going 5 2/3, 4 runs, 3 earned. Kind of concerning on Sunday out of a game that they really needed a strong start. Gavin Guidry also today, 2 innings. He allowed a run, but the 3 walks is really what's more concerning to me in those 2 innings from a guy that's supposed to be your shutdown reliever. Cooper Williams also had a bad outing today. He gave up a run, didn't get an out. And then the day prior to that, Cooper Moore had a solid start to the outing. And then after that, Devin Sheeran comes in and only gets 1 out and gives up 3 earned runs. And he's supposed to be one of their best relievers at LSU this year. So kind of really the LSU bullpen has not shown out very well recently, and a poor start from William Schmidt also is not great. And I know on Friday they run rule Sac State, but Kassan Evans has not been as dominant as we've thought. 5 2/3, 2 earned. It's not a bad stat line, but against a not great Sacramento State offense, it's kind of concerning. He hasn't dominated really anybody yet this year. So I'll leave it at that. That's my thoughts on that.
JB, I love it because, we talked on the last episode for sure about how this LSU bullpen has been shaky is maybe the kindest way we could say it. Just not what we expect out of them. And you called it. I mean, Guidry has looked really rough. Sheeran has looked really rough. Newt, I feel like, has been back and forth. There's guys we can talk about, but then, yes, when you talk about my boy William Schmidt and as well as Kason Evans, who, we were all clamoring about as being a top 4 arm, a top 5 arm in the SEC preseason. It's just I'll kind of compound on what you're saying, JB, with Evans gave up 2 5 2/3, 5 2/3, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
5 2/3, 2 earnings over that to Sac State. What is Vanderbilt going to look like this upcoming Friday?
Yeah,
it's just
a tough
you
test.
Get really concerned because I think we'd all agree Vandy is maybe upper middle of the pack SEC offense. You'd say. I'm curious what that jump is going to be from. I mean, God bless them, Sac State to SEC play. It's just it could be really rude for the Tigers.
I agree. I think also, like, as a whole, I think that series is the big test for both programs. 2 struggling programs going into a weekend that's really, really big for both to show what they're going to be for the year. So,
absolutely, the Blue Bloods are going to have to test their mettle. Only one can come away with the series win, and it's going to be tough. Quinjamin Franklin, my favorite nickname for you. I had to get it in on the air. Quinn, I'm going to ask you, when we talk about LSU, which batters for the Tigers are we looking at as, if this doesn't turn around soon, this player's entire outlook for us is going to radically shift?
Yeah, I think 3 of their main bats have just been not as good as anticipated. For starters, Kate Arambide, coming out of the fall, coach has been talking about him as like one of the best catchers in the SEC, and kind of just hasn't been yet. Strikeouts are near 30%, and it's just not really there for me. Stephen Milam's another one, kind of mashed over his first 2 years, sitting 250 now, and I'm not sure if it's his approach changing. Maybe he's trying to lift the ball a little more. It's just not who he is. Needs to be more of a gap-to-gap guy. And then, my first podcast, throwing out kind of a hot take, but I've never been a Derek Curiel guy. He's not been the player LSU needs him to be. He needs to be this superstar that kind of Jake Brown has been. Just not a lot of power, a lot of singles, just not really where he needs to be.
It is interesting, Quinn, because, we talk about, I guess you could say, our team meetings were like, now we're going to have this year, we're going to have a superstar, do-it-all, team on my back outfielder in LSU, right? Derek Curiel's rubbing his hands right. No, Derek, not you, it's Jake Brown. It's funny how that's kind of become the reality, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brown has been, I think the first week of the season, he was up there in terms of the hottest players on the planet, at least with regards to college ball. And Quinn, you said it. Curiel's detractors have had a lot of ammunition going into, I think, a very important first month of this season, where his draft stock, I think now we have to question the toll that this is taking on it, right?
Yeah, I've been questioning it since he was a senior in high school. Like a lot of the positives have been, okay, if he adds strengths, if he adds power, just kind of hasn't come. It's been talk for 3 years now about how he's going to add weight, and it's just hasn't really happened. And LSU needs him to hit extra base hits. They're not coming. So
yeah,
Vandy will be a big test. If he can get going, then I think it could drastically change their season. But if he's just going to be hitting slap singles, then it's not gonna do too much for him.
Yep. Tigers fans, you heard it here. Curiel is bad. Attack the guy in the bottom right corner. He's the guy you want to flame in the. I'm kidding. No. Quinn, good point. It's certainly something we're gonna have to keep an eye on going forward. Speaking of keeping an eye on things, JB, you kept an eye on Chapel Hill over the weekend. Not exactly the weekend I think you wanted for your Heels, though.
Yeah, congrats to Drew on being the only one to get a point this week on that pick'em. So, you can take a bow there. I guess really it's the storyline that we came in with, that the pitching staff is what we really all talked very highly of, and it was what let them down the most this weekend. Compiling with the slow start to the offense, but I think that we talked so much about the pitching staff being the key to holding it all together, and the 3 outings that they received from the starting staff didn't necessarily help that case, with Jason DeCara going 3 innings, 5 runs, only 2 of those earned, but not what you want on Friday. Then you moved to Saturday in the first game of the doubleheader. Lynch went 4 innings, 5 earned. And then you moved to the second game of the doubleheader with Folger Boaz going 3 innings, 4 earned. So nobody made it to the 5th inning. Kind of something that is a big struggle there, and it's hard to win games, especially when you have to tax the bullpen that much in a weekend series against a quality offense and in a doubleheader. Fortunately enough, they pull out the last game of the doubleheader. Tyler Howe was kind of the breakaway star in that game for them, and he really stepped up big as a freshman, and I think that was his first start of the weekend as well. He went 2 for 5 with the game-tying homer and a walk-off single. Big game for him. Owen Hull also got going this weekend. 2 extra base hits. He had the game-tying double. He had a homer in the game prior. But honestly, for Virginia, the guys that kind of stood out were Eric Becker had a nice weekend. Sam Harris was probably the winner of the weekend for UVA with, I think he had 2 or 3 extra base hits. Noah Murray, kind of a breakout random star of the weekend for them. Homer here. I think he had 2 homers, 3 extra base hits total or something like that, 4 or 5 RBIs. And Kyle Johnson had a nice game on Saturday, in the second game of the doubleheader. He DH'd and went 2 for 3. So UVA, nice weekend for them, kind of breaking out. I know some other outlets haven't shown a lot of respect. They haven't ranked him yet, but I think it's kind of at a point where it's hard not to. But good UVA team. And I think it'll be something that we keep an eye on for the Heels with the offense and the pitching.
It definitely is. I wanted to touch with you on Murray. He really likes it in Chapel Hill. We may need to be getting him in the old portal. He's something about Chapel Hill. He agrees with this kid. I agree.
Yeah.
With your three pitchers, though, I know we talked a lot about DeCaro, Lynch, and Boaz because obviously you watch this team quite a bit. You have good insight into this team. With those three guys, let's play similar to the worry meter. Let's say if you had to rank them in terms of adjustments needed at 1 month into the season, what's the ranking for you?
I think Jason was more of a one-off outing type of deal where it didn't look like he had a lot of command. He's kind of put two back-to-back together where he's gotten hit around a little bit, but against UVA, it was a lot of bad luck, I'd say, more so for him. A lot of soft hit singles, kind of just compiled together with walks, and was bad luck there. I mean, I guess the guy I'd say I'm worried about the most would be Folger Boaz, but more so from an aspect of he's got the ingredients to put it all together. I'm a big fan of Folger Boaz, as you guys know. I just think it's really putting it all together on the stage for everybody to see because he's shown some really good outings and he's had some really not so great outings so far. I think it's just kind of being consistent. With him, Lynch is probably in the middle. I mean, he's kind of been fairly steady throughout. It's the same stuff. The command's a question, but he's always been somebody that goes out there and competes for us in the biggest stage. So I would probably say we would go most worried about Folger, kind of in reverse order of our rotation. Most worried about Folger, Lynch in the middle, DeCaro last.
All right, JB, really quick, grade this tape. Okay, on the school scale, A to F. You could use minuses or pluses if you want. Let's give Folger a midweek to get right. Let's let Glauber get a weekend start on Sunday.
I would give it an A because I think it's a realistic possibility. I think there's a world where Caden Glauber forces his way into the rotation at some point this year. When that happens, I don't know. There's also the chance he stays in the pen just from the fact he's been our most reliable pen guy as of late. So I think it's a double-edged sword, but it's not a bad take, Drew. It's a real one. It's one that has been heavily discussed between me and my fellow Tar Heel fans here. So I know it's real.
Okay, cool. Quinjamin, looking at you because obviously JB led in with Virginia's offense. This is a loaded squad with some guys that we're really focusing on for this summer's draft. When you think about Virginia's offense and you think about the way that those stars performed against UNC this weekend, Quinn, what stands out to you?
Eric Becker. I think he's just going to keep climbing. So pure all around. I really wouldn't be surprised if he ends up the top 10 pick. I really wouldn't. It's just all around very solid player. Should stick it short. Really like him, and I think continuing to perform against high level ACC pitching is just going to keep doing him favors.
Quinn, can you gather that I'm an Eric Becker supporter?
I think I could tell. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it came across.
And you jump on it with him.
Jump on, Quinn.
He's number 13 on my personal overall board. So I think he's number 13 with high school and college together. I think he's
okay.
He's
with
legit.
both. Okay. I'll
the combined
that.
board, Drew. The combined.
All right. I'll tolerate
that.
My brain is very much in college board mode right now. I know that I need to be thinking in terms of combined, but we'll get there. Jake, let's talk about these two teams as we progress into the season, right? ACC play is fired up. UNC is coming off of, this is a rough series for them. And JB, I'm sorry to be so blunt about it. This is a rough series for them. Virginia looks really good coming out of this, Jake. I'm curious, let's look at kind of your outlook for them going forward. How much does this damage UNC, but how much does it boost up Virginia in your mind, Coach?
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy either way. I think this was a really good performance from Virginia. This doesn't necessarily completely tarnish what I think about UNC, even though this is a bad series to lose at home the way that they kind of lost it, especially in those first two games. They didn't look great, but this was more of just in those first two games, like I just said, Virginia just kind of flexed its muscles on them a little bit, like the lineup top to bottom just caught fire like they have been all year. And what's crazy is in those first two games, their best player, AJ Gracia, 3 for 13 or 3 for 13 on the weekend, not just in those first 2 games. So like they were hitting without like their star carrying them the
No
way.
extra base
and,
hits
like,
either, Jake.
Yes,
Yeah,
JB, I'm glad you brought that up. Jake, that's
but, like,
such a great point, though. Like to do it without kind of the nucleus you expected, it kind of emphasizes your point, though. This team is loaded top to bottom with quality hitters.
Yeah, you're right. And like you asked at the beginning, like I think this is just more, both teams are still really good in my eyes. I don't think anything too negative about UNC after this. I think that, Virginia just kind of caught them at the right time, I guess. But I mean, this is a really good performance from Virginia, and I like the way that I see them going forward. I think they're going to be just fine.
Pressure question, Jake. Are these two both top 15 teams still for you?
Yes, I think so. I think they are definitely both top 15 teams.
I think so for me too. I just kind of wanted to hear it from you before I locked in mine later on the rankings. So, Quinn, I have 2 questions for you. First of all, is it true that you're beat on the daily sheet, the college daily sheet on prospectslive.com? Membership starts as low as $7 a month if you want to read that every day. Quinn's on it all the time. Every episode you're on, Quinn, you do midweek SEC. And if I'm not mistaken, you do Big Ten weekends, correct?
Yes, sir. Big Ten weekends.
Big Ten weekends. Okay. Glad to know that. Second, what are you drinking? I noticed you pulled up the flask a minute ago, and normally Josh is the one who's drinking the rum on the episode. So is this something he passed to you?
Just got a little blender bottle.
Rum?
Had some creatine earlier, but some water now. Maybe mix with some other things, but nobody needs to know that.
Jake, whiskey? Is that what you're on today?
Earlier, not anymore. I'm trying.
Got it. Whiskey at the ballpark. Coach is living his best life. I love it.
My coach.
All right, Quinn. Let's talk Big Ten, buddy. There happens to be a 15-0 team, USC. Guys, the Trojans are legit question mark. I think just like we all drew it up, USC, one of the best teams in the country in terms of the win-loss record. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Quinn, my question to you to lead us off here, is USC legit?
So I'd like to say that Southern Cal is legit. USC would be my alma mater, University of South
Carolina. I forget that that's a sticking point for you, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, University of South Carolina is not legit. So
what?
I'm gonna have to.
No,
I strongly disagree with the statement of the using of USC here, but this is a battle for another time.
I mean, the university was founded before California was a state, so I'll leave it there.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a passionate fighting point for me for over the last 5 years.
All right. Let me rephrase then, Quinn. Quinn, is Southern California legitimate?
Drew, that's a great question. Southern Cal is absolutely legit. Rotation is filthy. I mean, Mason Edwards, Grant Govell, they've allowed 1 run in 50 combined innings. I mean, it's pretty good. Edwards especially, just a competitor out there. Good lefty with a low to mid 90s fastball. Breaking ball is really good. Low 80s, manipulates shape well. It's really tough to differentiate out of the hand. I wouldn't be able to hit it, that's for sure. Offense is good. They don't have a true star, but they get production from 1 through 9. Adrian Lopez, Maximo Martinez, Jack Basir. He had a home run today. He's got 8 extra base hits in 10 games. He's been great. I think Southern Cal could finish up the season as a top 3 team, Big Ten. And I mean, I don't know if anybody's catching UCLA, but if anybody is, USC is going to be right there.
Interesting you bring that up. That is a point we're going to get to in just a minute, Quinn. I love that. I love that you teased that. Jake, you handled the Big Ten beat last year, and then you handed it off to your Northeast compatriot Quinn for this season. Obviously, I know you keep up with college ball, Jake. You're aware of the Big Ten regardless. Where would you put USC kind of in the pecking order of the Big Ten teams right now?
I mean, looking at their start to the year, like it's UCLA at the top of the Big Ten. I mean, is USC right there with Oregon? I mean, it's hard to say that they're not. I mean, they haven't lost a game yet. Like, I don't know. Like Quinn talked about it. Like their pitching staff is just going nuts right now. Mason Edwards is so good. I'll say it again. He already touched on it. I'll say it again. 6 innings, 11 Ks, no runs. Like Grant Govell, really good. Andrew Johnson got shaken up a little bit, but the bullpen picked him up there. Like good defensive team. They made a few errors this weekend. They're top 50 in the country in fielding percentage. And like on offense, there isn't just like one star on this offense. Jack Basir is hitting really well. Quinn talked about it, but like they only have 2 guys with an OPS under like 750 in their lineup right now. Like it's top to bottom. They're hitting the ball well. Like I don't know that, and they have a pretty light schedule coming up even for the Big Ten. But like, yeah, the team is legit, and I wouldn't be shocked if we're talking about this team having 25 plus wins at the end of like March. Like yeah, I think they're for real, and I'll put them right up there. I think I would put them right up there with Oregon. Jake,
quick question, just a yes or no answer. Am I insane for saying I like USC better than Oregon?
No, not at all. The way they're pitching, they can compete with anybody in the country right now.
Good to know. JB, I'm going to give you an interesting one because this is going to be I think obviously the question that we've established here is the 2 top dogs in the Big Ten right now are going to be teams from your neck of the wood. It's UCLA, it's USC. What would that matchup look like before we get to it, obviously, because, man, cinema when you get there. But, I mean, in my brain, pal, this is a hyper offense against a hyper pitching squad. However, is the difference going to be can USC's bats contend with a UCLA pitching staff that has been competent, if not excellent in their own right?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that USC kind of mirrors more of a traditional-ish, and this sounds like an insult, but it's not, good mid-major offense in California, like your UC Irvines, your Santa Barbaras. They're not built to slug like UCLA is. It's more of a play the small ball game, be fundamental, play good defense, move guys around, and win a game. That's kind of the offense that they're built around. Now, I guess I'll go the other way with this question. With UCLA playing against some of the best competition in the country and facing some of the best arms in the country, is it any different facing Mason Edwards and Govell and those guys? I don't know. For me, honestly, I think UCLA will be able to handle that well enough, but that's just my personal opinion. But yeah,
I would
guess,
tend to agree with that, JB, because we've seen, I mean, and the one I'll go to because, I mean, it's obviously a game that I had a deep-rooted personal interest in, but I mean, Tegan Kuntz. Consider how Tegan Kuntz from Tennessee looked at the end of the game against UCLA. I think if that's kind of your bizarre ersatz from kind of what you can expect of a Govell or an Edwards, a solid start. Nothing that's going to irreparably damage our opinions of these dudes now after they've shoved. UCLA is just kind of a different animal. They're in a tier almost of their own. And I think that's kind of a point you and I share, right?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think they're in their own tier, but I guess to give these guys some credit, I guess I'll talk about some similarities between Edwards and Govell, at least for a second.
Sure.
So
please.
They're both running, or at least I should start with Edwards. He is running an over 60% whiff rate on his breaking ball and a 57% whiff rate on the changeup. The fastball is down at 23%, so it's fine. It's, kind of average. Govell, on the other hand, kind of the same deal. It's 44% on the breaking ball and 54% on the changeup with 25% on the fastball. So it's heavy breaking ball changeup approach from both guys, especially to get the swing and miss, I think. Against UCLA, is that approach going to work? That's another question. Are they going to have to move into that slot? Obviously, I think they don't throw as many fastballs against them, so it's kind of an interesting thing to see how it plays out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, looking into kind of the chess match as it will be for those matchups, I do think that at least the prior version of a Gasparino, at least, I think that's a guy who maybe – you could see Edwards and Govell succeeding against with the breaking ball approach. You really want him to get aggressive and chase on that. But then you talk about guys like obviously Chalowski, Lavu. These are guys with like hyper advanced plate discipline for the college game. I'm curious. It's gonna, man. That is, like I said, it's gonna be cinema. That showdown between some SoCal teams is gonna be insane. On the topic of undefeated teams, guys, really quick because I know we got a lot to talk about. Texas, Jake, you brought it up earlier, dude. We don't really talk about Texas. It's kind of just like, yep, they're good. Let's move on. But I mean, realistically, they've handled their business. They're 15-0, sweep of USC upstate, or as it says on the sheet, update USC update. Either way, that team, they lost 3 times to Texas this weekend, but that's nothing new because Texas has kind of clobbered everybody. Jake, really quick, like maybe just a sentence or two. What's working for Texas?
I mean, I think it all starts, like I love to talk about pitching, but it kind of all starts with the pitching staff. Like Riojas continued to roll. He's balling right now. Luke Harrison was pretty good for him again as well. Like, I don't know. I think I really like the pitching staff, and if you want to talk about the offense, they're all picking each other up right now. There's a couple guys that's really rolling, but I like the pitching staff a lot. Yeah,
definitely. JB, Texas's offense, obviously, we've touched on it. They have insane level transfer portal guys. We've had some of their underclassmen step up. We've had dudes. Just this Texas offense, again, if there's anybody kind of at that level with UCLA, I'd say it's Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Robbins has picked up right where he left off, and the power that we were dreaming that he would have has shown up now. 6 homers, hitting 390, a 1253 OPS. They have 4 guys in this lineup with 4 or more homers and 5 with 3 or more. So that is huge for them early going in the season. The power numbers have been great for this team. I mean, almost their entire lineup starting is hitting over 330 or around 330 right now, which is absurd. This lineup is just kind of posted insane numbers. The OPSs, everybody in the starting lineup, I think right now is above, with one exception, at 889, above a 900 OPS, which is insane. This lineup just has been going ballistic, and I think there's nothing that can stop it right now.
Who's the crummy, no good, awful hitter only hitting 889? Let's roast
Funny
this
enough,
guy.
Adrian Rodriguez.
What trash. A-Rod, you absolute garbage.
2027 number 1 guy is the only
exactly.
one at 900 right
now. So you guys will, JB, you may remember this. Jake, I know you'll remember it. The very first episode of College Baseball Now, we talked about how, man, what if Aiden Robbins could use some of this power he got on the Cape and bring that all-contact approach from Seton Hall? Could we be looking at a Goliath? And you and I both kind of simultaneously, I think we could, Drew. I think we could. And sure enough, buddy, that's what's happened for us. Quinn, I'm going to go to you really quick for this question, and it's a loaded one, and I'm sorry. To my knowledge, you're not currently ranking college baseball teams. You may be for yourself, and that's awesome. Who's better, Texas or UCLA?
I'm going to go UCLA, but I think it's getting closer every week. I think UCLA's pitching is still just a bit of a step ahead, but I mean, Riojas and Volantis especially are kind of undeniable, so it's getting close.
I also am a Dylan Volantis truther, so you're doing very well. You're doing very well to earn yourself a pay raise. All right, so we've got a couple more storylines, but obviously we did really go in depth for you on the big ones. So let's power through these other things really quickly. I'll jump in super quick to talk about some Big 12 stuff because that's obviously my beat for the Daily Sheet. D. Kennedy on fire again? ? Exit out. That's a hard nod. 3 home runs today for D. Kennedy. I think he cemented himself over a gentleman we'll talk about here in a minute as my favorite breakout player of the season. Kennedy is insane. I think he's got power and hit, but obviously, JB, we talk a lot about how there's some swing happy stuff with D. Kennedy. There's some issues under the hood, and yet I think he remains a pretty intriguing player, especially one who is building some really credible draft stock. But the player who I think we're going to – and I don't mean to cut you off, JB. I'm just going to try to power through this real quick, get Big 12 swept off the table so we can talk about other things. Quentin Coates. Guys, Cincinnati's first baseman is an absolute Goliath. 12 home runs on the year. Cincinnati pretty good. That's a pretty good squad. Jack Natili got a lot of love, and justifiably, preseason from us. And yet I think that's just going to be a team that I'm finding myself really struggling not to rank them even now, thinking about how good Cincinnati has played. Very good, some solid pitching. Guys, again, Nathan Taylor doing very well. They've got hitters. Chechik, I think, returned this weekend. Just the lineup's getting deeper, so very good. UCF with a sweep over Murray State, and we know that Murray State lost a lot of guys either to graduation. A couple guys picked up UDFAs, a couple of transfers, so they're not the same Murray State that we saw last year. Coach Skirk is still doing a good job with that squad, but at the same time, UCF big sweep for the Knights this weekend, and they needed it. Matt Saucer, one of my favorite pitchers in the Big 12. I think he's not getting nearly enough love nationally either. Jake, you like Matt Saucer?
I was just nodding my head because just how he pitched this weekend. He went him and who was the other one? Evan Jones. They
Jones, yeah.
They went crazy in that second game or first game even.
Jake Saucer is on an 18 2/3 scoreless inning streak right now.
That's pretty good.
It's sick. It's gross. It's gross. I love it. Anyway, let's move on though. JB, we're going to come to you, pal, because it is propaganda time. Really quickly, a player that you and I both tend to gravitate towards. I believe he made a triumphant return, and we're going to play some trumpets.
Yeah, Tyler Bell, he is back. Somehow he is back. Everybody thought he was gone for the year pretty much. There's a lot of talk about people saying, we even discussed, does he go back to school? But Tyler Bell is back, and he is showing out that there is no need for him to go back to school next year. He is going to be easily in the first round, no doubt about it. Some propaganda, I guess, that we would love to hear. 15 plate appearances, I know, small sample size, but 6.7% K rate so far for Tyler Bell. Love that. And 20% walk rate, we love that too. Expected slug of 751 and 87% in zone contact, only a 12% chase rate. That is everything that you want from a dude in your lineup, switch hitting, good athlete, and when he's back on the diamond, he's a plus defender too. So all the makings to be a top 10 pick. The injury is something that will probably scare some people, but he's got the talent to be in the top of the first round.
It's going to scare teams off, but some team is going to get a gem who, we talked about it before the season, rivals, if not exceeds, a lot of the shortstops other outlets are pushing above him. So without a doubt, the rumors of his demise greatly exaggerated, as they say, JB. I'm glad to know that you and I are happy to have our boy back. Quinn, did you happen to see the inside the park home run that our boy Tyler Bell hit?
I did, and I also love Tyler Bell. I'd like to get on.
Yeah!
You guys have. I have him 8th on my college board, so I'm all in.
Let's go. Glad to have you aboard, sir. Choo-choo indeed. Jake, Tyler Bell, obviously, man, we talked about it, and JB led us into it a minute ago. We were concerned. Is this like maybe he comes back to school for his next season? I don't think that's going to be necessary, though, dog.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I mean, he absolutely proved. I mean, I guess he proved himself to everybody that was kind of doubting whether he was going to take a step back after, the injury and whatnot. But I mean, no, I think he's right back where he was. I think he's going to be one of the best players again,
without a doubt. Interesting, especially for Kentucky to get Bell back, because across the SEC on Sunday, nightmare fuel, everybody's losing. Look out. Obviously, we talked about LSU a minute ago, but Quinn, several losses across the Southeastern Conference. Apparently on Sundays, it just means, it's okay, we'll lose this one.
Yeah, the SEC is a little weird. I mean, we talk about Arkansas, Vandy, and Tennessee today, but Florida absolutely should have lost too. That was ridiculous.
It was, yeah.
I mean, with these three, Arkansas, Vandy, and Tennessee, there's just fun. I find there just being fundamental lineup issues with all three. I just don't know if they can seem to figure out the right order. Vandy gets a bit of a pass. They've had a lot of health issues. Hopefully they get back on track when Barksy's back. But
yeah,
for Arkansas, I love the Arkansas lineup. I think Ruiz is fun. I love Ryder Helfrich, but left side of the infield struggling. Nolan Souza has been a high upside guy since his freshman year, and it's just not really coming together. Brumbaugh, really highly touted freshman. He's hitting sub 200. It's just they need to find some consistency and stability on the left side of the infield. Tennessee, I'm not really sure what their problem is. Like they don't have that star power they've had over the last couple of years. They needed Levi Clark to be what Levi Clark was as a freshman. He's also hitting sub 200. He's been very bad. And today, I think I don't know if this has been a consistent issue for them season long, but it's been an aggressive approach, at least today. I mean, they didn't walk at all today against Wright State. I have to assume they have some command issues at Wright State, and they didn't walk at all. So I think the offense across the SEC is getting a little stifled, and SEC play will be more interesting this year than in years past.
I'm certainly with you on that last point for sure. Jake, we'll go to you obviously to talk Tennessee. I know that's our squad we support. That's the squadron we choose to support. I know Tennessee it's almost like a mix of kind of the two things that Quinn laid out for Arkansas and Vanderbilt. There has been some injury issues. I mean, we just got Garrett Wright this weekend. I say we. Tennessee just got Garrett Wright this weekend, but there has been a lot of lineup shuffling. I feel like with Clark especially, again, has not been who Tennessee needs him to be. And yet, Jake, I think the lineup is weird. I think we have had some Tennessee has had some injury issues, and yet it's just something feels amiss there. Jake, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. Talking about this game specifically, as much as I don't really want to talk about this game specifically, I'll do it anyways. First of all, Chet Lax for Wright State, 7 innings, no runs. Peplinas, I hope I'm saying that right. 2 innings, no runs to finish it for him. Really good job pitching there for them. But like you're talking about with this Tennessee lineup, like today, Jay Abernathy, 0 for 4. Henry Ford, 1 for 4. Blaine Brown, 1 for 4, who has been good this year, but did not pull his weight today. Blake Grimmer, 0 for 4. Garrett Wright, you just mentioned, we get him back, 1 for 4. Chapman, 0 for 4. Like it just keeps going. Manny Marin had a good day, 3 for 3 with a double, but like I don't know. Is it just a super aggressive approach, trying to, like we've talked about with some other teams, kind of everyone's trying to be the hero, but like they've struck out 105 times this year to only 71 walks. I don't know what off the top of my head, I can't do that math, the percentage there, but that's probably not what you want to see. The power numbers are like all right, but it just comes in spurts. Like they're not stringing in like a ton of hits together. I don't know. I don't really know what the answer is for Tennessee. The starting pitching this year, they've kind of been good against the teams they're supposed to be good against, but otherwise it hasn't been the absolute best part of the team. I don't know. Tennessee's a very inconsistent team right now, and you guys hit on all the high points there. It's just there are definitely some concerns on Rocky Top.
Without a doubt. JB, we'll quote our homie Josh Catlett. I see the vision with Tennessee. I do, and I'm not just saying that to make the joke. I see the vision. The upside here is the offense puts it together. There's a solid lineup that we know makes good sense, and everybody's hitting. The pitching is doing well. The bullpen does what they're supposed to do. The puzzle pieces are there, but it's JB. It's like it's like Tennessee can't put it together. I do not work for the University of Tennessee.
He wishes he does.
Hard facts.
Yeah, I feel like every weekend it's been a different piece of the puzzle has been the issue, whether it's the offense or the bullpen, or I feel like the starting pitching has been the problem much, but there's a few outings here and there that have been, lacking, I guess you could point at. But I think every weekend it's been a very different issue for this Tennessee team. I feel like they've struggled with runners in scoring position a lot from what I've seen. Kind of the offense somewhat reminds me of an Arkansas offense that we see at times, where it's just very lackluster behind, pitching staff putting up some good outings sometimes. So I think it's something that it's a team just like Arkansas is the other one we were talking about in this, that if everything gets put together, they're a really dangerous team for a lot of people, especially in the SEC. But right now, they aren't at that point. That is not to say that they won't in SEC play, and I think there's a high likelihood they both will, and they'll both be very, very good SEC teams down the stretch. But, I think it's just kind of bad timing right now for them, or a team that just hasn't looked ready to go necessarily in all aspects. So maybe you chalk it up to Vitello leaving in a sense, a little bit. There's probably not full blame, but a little bit there. But yeah, I think that's kind of where you look at it with them.
I think it is hard not to look at Vitello leaving as almost like a bullet in the foot. It's not going to kill you, but it is going to start you a lot slower than I think you would have naturally. That's a great point, JB. Let's do roundtable game really quickly. We just talked about 4 SEC teams. Actually, we'll throw. We talked a lot about LSU. We won't do that. We'll compound this. Let's talk about 4 teams: Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida. Arkansas, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Florida. JB, who are you most worried about right now of those 4 teams?
Vandy, probably. I
Okay.
think Vandy's the one that's like the obvious. I think close second behind them is how bipolar Florida is right now. I think is like kind of a very concerning thing to me. And then
Yeah.
it would probably go Tennessee than Arkansas. I feel like just Arkansas, the pitching has been a little bit more
Yeah.
stable, I think, in my mind. So that's the only reason why I'd go in that order. But I think those 2 are the safer picks that I'm confident are going to turn it around. Vandy, I'm the least confident in right now. I think they're a good team, but just the gauntlet they're going to have to play in the SEC and the injuries and inconsistencies we've seen, just think it bites you in the butt. Florida, it's what team do you get on each day? Is it them that should have been swept by High Point, or is it them going to Miami and kicking Miami's butt for a weekend? So it's like you don't know what you're getting from that
So
team.
JB, I said I did this exact same kind of reference on the Daily Sheet this weekend. I said that it's the same case with Florida on a broader scale as it is with Arizona. Are you going to get Dr. Florida or Mr. Gators today? It's going to be one or the other. You're either going to get the well-mannered doctor or the monster that you can't control. So, Jake, same question to you, buddy. Of those 4 teams, again, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida, who worries you the most?
Yeah, I mean, I think JB kind of nailed it with the order that I would put them in as well. Yeah, Vanderbilt is the team that I'm most worried about, and the fact that they have to start conference play. I talked about it when we talked about LSU, that they have to go to Vanderbilt, which is not an easy place to play. But on the flip side, a Vanderbilt team that hasn't looked great has to play LSU. Like I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah, I think like they all have their own inconsistencies, but I mean, if there's a team that I'm worried about the most being able to keep up with the rest of the pack in the SEC, it's got to be Vanderbilt.
Okay. Quinn, same question. I'm curious, does your ranking shift any from JB and Jake's where it goes Vanderbilt, Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas?
I think I'm going to put Florida in the safer category and move Tennessee to the riskier.
Right.
It's tight, but I kind of just think Florida is going to put it all together. I think they have more pieces. I think Brendan Lawson's one of the best players in the country. I kind of just have to bet on him, and I don't think I have anybody to bet on in Tennessee's lineup. And then pitching wise, I think it's fairly similar. As of right now, I'd rather bet on Peterson than Coons if we're just talking one of ones. So
True.
I think that's where I go. That's where I differ.
Okay. JB, make a note for later that Quinn earned a pay raise for his Becker and Bell takes. He lost a pay grade. He lost a pay raise for putting Tennessee under Florida in anything. All right, good.
Disrespecting or Blaine Brown, Drew. He's disrespecting Blaine Brown.
Disrespecting
Watch
Henry
out.
Ford. He's disrespecting Blaine Brown. He's disrespecting Jay Abernathy. He's disrespecting me as a person. Quinn's just really on thin ice. Jake, I will go back to you here because I believe a victory lap is in order for you, sir. Our team gripes following our top 100 college prospects that released earlier this year. You said, and I don't have it pulled up to quote it, but you essentially said, we are too low on Von Lackey. Jake, on behalf of the world, you were right. We're too low. You can take your victory lap.
I don't mind. I've been a Von Lackey fan from the very beginning, and like I'm just gonna read some numbers here real quick. I'll keep it pretty short. 1,426 OPS. He's got 6 homers. He has 17 walks to only 9 strikeouts, and he's stolen 6 bags on the year as a catcher. Like he's doing everything offensively while playing really good catcher defense as well. We knew about the arm. knew about what he was going to bring to the table on that side of the ball as well. I don't mind taking a little bit of a victory lap for Von Lackey. He's been playing some ball this year, man.
Yeah. Quinn, I'm curious, the Von Lackey take of Jake's. I think we had Lackey at Jake, off the top of your head, 23rd. Is that where we had him?
I think so. I don't actually
in that range. For sure.
That sounds about right. Yeah,
that sounds right. Quinn, in that range, let's say he's 23rd, just for sake of argument. Would you agree with Jake that he was too low in our ranking?
I think when you guys did it, I don't necessarily blame you, but looking at it now, that's far too low. That's fair.
I appreciate that you gave us a look. You know what, Quinn? You're back on my good side now. All right, you're back on my good side, Quinn. I'm glad to know that. JB, historically, you've kind of knocked this Georgia Tech team. I'm curious, does that extend to Von Lackey, or can you even say, this kid's actually kind of ball?
No, I was a fan of Drew Burris and Lackey, I'd say. Lackey, admittedly, has grown upon me. His USA showing wasn't necessarily the most impressive, so it's kind of in the middle ground on him. But yeah, he's definitely grown upon me. He's a guy that I think is really exciting. I think he's going to be a great player. And I think the Georgia Tech team too is kind of grown now. So I'll say they've grown a little.
Georgia Tech's growing on you, man. That's one of our early season.
They still dropped the game to the Hokies this weekend, so we'll leave it at that. I'm not jumping on board to the full extent yet, but they have grown.
Quinn, give us an out of 10. Well, you can choose. Either do like classic school grading, like A+, F-, or out of 10. What are we looking at from Virginia Tech this year if you had to grade them?
Ooh. A solid start. Go with a solid B. I'm pretty good.
So I was thinking kind of in that range, like B, B-, because we talked about them headed into the tournament that they were in a couple weekends ago, and we said they were probably the weakest link, but at the same time, it's a loaded crop, so that's not really a detriment to them, Quinn.
Yeah, pretty good team. Two good players in Brett Renfro and Ethan Ball. Two really good starts for them, so definitely solid start for them. Excited to see what they do this year.
Yeah, work. Absolutely. All right. Obviously, we have some midweeks to talk about. I know we do have to kind of put on the gas a little bit for the episode. I know we're rounding on to an hour. We've got some games that we want to talk about for you, though. Quinn, we will start with you. Which midweek game or series are you most excited for, and why?
I'm going to go Maryland, West Virginia. Just because I think it's going to be fireworks. Maryland doesn't necessarily pitch it all that well, but they can bang. And West Virginia has only played one midweek game so far, and they went with the bullpen game. They can also kind of bang, and I think it's just going to be offense first offense. So
West Virginia's offense has been one of my favorites to watch this year, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Jake, where are you looking in terms of midweek, buddy?
I'll do Florida State at Florida. This is always a fun matchup. Those two in Miami always have their kind of battle for the state of Florida, and this is kind of kicking it off here. Florida State at Florida. Like most midweeks, it's not hard to predict that there's going to be a ton of offense, but I think both of these teams are going to be scoring a lot of runs. Luke McNally and Billy Barlow have been Florida's midweek starters. Because they've played two every week so far this season. McNally threw Saturday. Barlow didn't throw very many pitches on the weekend, so I'm expecting it to be probably Barlow for them. FSU's kind of mixes up who they started in midweek, so it's hard to predict. But nonetheless, whoever's pitching, I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored.
I think that's a safe assumption, isn't it? JB, surely there's not going to be another quality matchup of two Florida teams this midweek, right?
Sadly, I think that is not the case, and we are running it back in an extra inning thriller from the last time with UCF and Miami, this time in Orlando at UCF. It was a 13-inning final last time with an 8-7 Miami victory, and now Miami coming off of a series loss to Boston College, which was kind of a shocker. They're going to have to try to get back on track against a UCF team that's hungry and coming off of a sweep of Murray State. So I think it'll be a very, very interesting matchup to see what type of offensive output we see in this.
It is going to be supremely interesting. I'm with you there. It's going to be compelling, even I would go so far as to say. UCF has been an interesting team, and Miami, obviously, we talk a lot about them as well. It could be a tricky one, to say the very least. Let's talk about a midweek that I know our boy Josh would have been all over. You said it, JB. Whether we're talking about the UTSA Roadrunners, whether we're going to talk about Texas Tech, and that always invites love for his boy Logan Hughes. UTSA and Texas Tech, a little midweek series, a little Tuesday, Wednesday two-step in Texas. I've got my eyes glued on this one, guys. I think y'all know UTSA is a team I had highlighted really early as being a mid-major that's got severe Omaha threat-itis. That's the diagnosis I'm making for them. This weekend, not exactly their best showing, but yet it's going to be one that I think we can chalk up to. Is this some of the first really real competition that they've played, being A&M? Perhaps. With Tech, I've said it in our group chat, guys. Am I insane for thinking Texas Tech is a great team? The answer is yes. But I think that the insanity has some stock behind it. I really think that, man, Lincoln Garcia has been a revelation. That kid is going. Y'all are gonna you're gonna have to tell me to shut up about Lincoln Garcia eventually. But then beyond that, Jesse Ruzinek, we've got the speedster. We've got obviously Logan Hughes. You've got Robin Villanueva has been insane at first base. It's just Tech is loaded with talent, and I think that that's going to be an incredible matchup of two teams I really like. Tuesday and Wednesday television viewing may be dominated by the great state of Texas. Really quick, I'll just throw out some other games that we had highlighted. JB and I both thought that Wake Forest at Coastal Carolina is going to be it's going to be very interesting. I think Coastal, an incredible test for them coming off of the ECU series win. Congrats to Jake and JB, by the way, for that. And rip in the chat from me and Josh. JB also highlighted on behalf of Mr. Catlett an episode without Josh. We don't talk about Southern Miss. What in the world? He's gonna be so pissed. Southern Miss, though, is going to host Ole Miss. So after the midweek thriller with Mississippi State, they're going to host the Rebels. And it'll be curious to see which Ole Miss team shows up to that. Is it going to be the Ole Miss team that looks like they've got it together? Or are we going to have, Ole Miss, a team that wears a group of guys that wear those jerseys who may be the Ole Miss team. Quinn, you highlighted some really quality California action. UC Irvine taking on UCLA on Tuesday. And Jake, would you believe it if I told you highlighted another in-state battle, some mid-major slugfest as McNeese is going to Louisiana on Wednesday, huh? Lots of stuff there. It's going to be crazy. Also, Josh, on your behalf, UAB is coming to Auburn on Tuesday. Anyway, there's your Auburn plug for the week as well. No Auburn, no Southern Miss. RIP, Josh. Anyway, what a fun episode. Lots of stuff we've talked about. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Do want to ask, what is the midweek game you are most looking forward to? Drop it in the comments down below. We will reply and let you know what we think of that game or series as well. Also want to, like we said earlier in the show, encourage you to check out prospectslive.com. Membership start as low as $7 a month, where you can get all of our rankings, all of our tools, all of our tips, tricks, articles, podcasts, and more. In addition to the College Daily Sheet that is co-authored on the reg by this gentleman, Mr. Quinn Martin. Quinn, on behalf of JB and Jake, amazing having you on the show. You did amazing. We'll have to have you back.
It was great to be here. I would love to come back.
We'd love to have you. So in the interim, between your episodes of College Baseball Now, please tell the audience where they can find you on social media and what you're working on right now.
I am on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Quinn_Martin17. I got occasional posts on there talking about Ty Head mostly. Big fan of that guy. Outside of that, just watching games as we all do.
Quinn, I nearly said a really stupid thing. I nearly said, seems like we're all big fans of Head. And then I was like, that's going to sound terrible. So, yep. Pew, 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 pew. Coach, save me, Coach. Tell us where they can find you between our episodes and what you're working on. And also give me a one-line summary of the game you got to see today.
You said you were thinking about saying it and it wasn't going to sound right yet. You said it anyways.
I know. I said save me, not bury me, Jake. Come on.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Jake Barge. I post on there sometimes as well. My mid-major top 30 has been one of the more fun things I've gotten to do this year. But today I got to get out to the ballpark finally. Talked about it at the beginning. UPenn, UMBC. Yeah, it was just fun to be back out there. Weather was great. Thomas Shirtliff is a dude for Penn. Some big offensive performances on both sides. But I was just happy to be out there. I might have a little live looks article coming out from that too.
Well, live looks from Jake. That's going to be good stuff. JB, where can the people find you between our episodes, and what are you working on, sir?
Yes, JB_Sebastiano on X or Twitter. Yeah, I kind of see a couple occasional posts, a lot of replies or retweets, stuff that everybody else is talking about, and talking about some other people, and probably have some live looks from this UVA UNC weekend, which wasn't the brightest for our Diamond Heels, but still be there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. If you're interested for whatever reason following me between our episodes, you may do so on the Twitter machine at Drew is okay. Same handle on Blue Sky and Instagram as well. We are working at the site, man. The College Daily Sheet has been an undertaking, but it's one that I'm really enjoying. I don't want to speak for Quinn and for the rest of the guys, but it's been a great treat. We're having a good time with it. We hope that you guys are enjoying it. Obviously, we do have rankings updates coming up soon. Got to get that scheduled. Got to get that rolling for the top 200 college players for the for the MLB draft this summer, as well as a combined list, college and prep players for the draft, which is going to be coming very soon as well. Lots of fun stuff coming up, and obviously you can catch all of it and all the action broken down here on episodes of College Baseball Now. So on behalf of JB, on behalf of Jake, on behalf of Quinn, first of all, we miss you, Josh. Shout out to you. Shout out to Grandpa Catlett as well, since we didn't get that shout out in today. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope the trip's going well. But until next time, we will see you. On behalf of the staff, be nice to yourself. Be nice to each other. Toodaloo.